You guys see that? Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to explain the budget. I know there were some questions last time, so just wanted to go through how the whole budget gets to this point, pretty much. So every year at the end of September, they do this thing where it's called a closeout, and the accounting system at MIP, what we do at the end of the year is we reconcile all the accounts. So everything that has been paid out for the whole year, it gets accounted for in the system. And once September comes around, that's when ASC comes and helps with their accounting part. So once we reconcile the whole system, then we come up with the carryover amount. What's left in those funds, which you can see on this side right here, says carryover amount. So each of these numbers right here, that's the carryover amount for each of these funds. And on this side is the fund right here. So this is for Fund 1, Fund 3, and then we also go back to the BIM, the Budget Instruction Manual. And in the Budget Instruction Manual, it gives you like, okay, what is the allowables, disallowables within the fund? So it's like a guideline of how the fund should be budgeted. So these are just policies about what goes on with, ASC coming in, making sure that, the chapters are maintaining all their files, laws, regulations, and policies. Any kind of, and all of these funds are restricted. They're restricted, so once they get placed into those funds, you can't move them around. It's already, they just stay in there. They can't be moved around, but they can be moved around within the fund, like within those little line items, they can be moved around. But that has to be presented to the community, and that part is where the approval comes in from the community members, and then a resolution is attached to that too. Once that is completed, then that's when I'll come in and help Deidre make that, complete that process in the accounting system. So, it just tells you about guidelines about not moving funds around. Even talks about investments, but usually those are for certified chapters. So it doesn't really pertain to non-certified. And then right here, this is where we use this, where it talks about each fund. Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3. So we start to use this to budget the money. It tells you like this is allowable for that fund. So like you can get supplies, operating supplies, office equipment, furniture, utility expenses, stuff like that. So we use that in order to to do the budget every year. So that's how we came up with this. So in Fund 1, Fund 1 usually just depends on how the chapter wants to use that money. Like right now, they wanted to put some in food, and then buy also wood or wood pallets, and even funeral assistance. So that's why, you know, that's how the staff and the officials came up with this budget. So all I did was come in, make sure the numbers are, the calculations are correct, and just make sure that they're following that budget instruction manual. So that's pretty much my job. I don't really tell the, you know, the chapters what to do with their money. Just kind of guide them just to make sure that they're, you know, that they're just putting them in the right places. So, I believe they want to do something about, I don't know, Thanksgiving or Christmas with that food money right there. That's what they were saying. Then, of course, purchase some wood or wood pallets for the community. And then, of course, there's funerals too. All chapters do that. They always assist community members with funeral assistance. So that's Fund 1. Fund 3, usually I just see chapters putting it in utilities because they don't get that much. Some chapters are like deep in the negative, so usually I just recommend chapters just use this for utilities. So that's kind of like what they went ahead and decided to go ahead and do. So as you can see, for telephone, electric, you know, natural gas, waste disposal, water, internet, just to keep the chapter operating, keep it open, so that people can come in and, you know, get assistance or get information. And then we have Fund 8. So with Fund 8 is SYAP, Summer Youth. So we went through this too. Let's see. So right here, this whole area is SYAP, Summer Youth. So what they want to do is, that first one is high school students, and then college, so they want to employ maybe 36 kids, $12 an hour, face navigation, policy procedures, children under, or high school students can only work 64 hours, so like 32 hours a week. But college students, they can work up to 80 hours. So that first line up there is the salary. So this is like salary, and these are fringe, FICA, Medicare, and then workers' comp. So that's all calculated in there. Then we come up with the totals on that side, and that was what was left, that's $754.32. Sometimes when you're working with hours and wages and how many people, it's hard to get that to zero. So the remainder, every time I kept changing these numbers, it would go into the negative, which meant that it was, you know, it was being over budgeted. So that's as close as we could get it. So we just ended up just putting that into workers' comp. So those totals, came over here on this side right here. That's how we got those totals. Then next is Fund 9, which is housing, you know, building materials. However, the policy procedures are written up here. That's how you budget the money in these too also. So however, you just follow it. So in their policy, they probably have archaeology survey assistance that they want to help with the community that need it. And then building materials for people who need repairs, just based off of their policy procedures. So with that, I think we didn't really come up with any kind of like how many people we want to help it. This was just remaining, so they just said, okay, let's just leave the numbers the same way. So we ended up just keeping it the same way, and it matches up to the carryover amount. So that's how that was budgeted. And then Fund 10. So on Fund 10, this is where we budget for This is where we budget for Club C. And Club C stipend right there, they get about $5,700, and then they get FICA, Medicare, and workers' comp too. So that way, that's how it's supposed to be budgeted with Club C stipends. They have those fringe benefits. Then office supplies, operating supplies. The chapter usually needs these right here: dues and subscriptions and other professional fees, mainly to maintain the accounting system. So that's what some of that is for too as well. And then also property insurance, to insure the property here, making sure that everything that is on the inventory list, once the chapter sends it to risk management. And then they'll send an invoice to us, and once that invoice comes back, that's when we pay the property insurance. That way, everything's insured at the chapter. And then bank service charges, chapters get charged for, the bank that they're with, so they get a small charge, sometimes it's not that much. So the way we saw it was, I believe they used about almost $400 last year, so we kind of just stuck $400 in there. And then computers, in case they want to, purchase another computer, or it can be related to software stuff to update computers too as well. So those are allowable within Fund 10 in order to move towards certification or even getting out of sanction, which that's where that chapter is at. So that's where that budget, that's how they set the budget for Fund 10. And then Fund 12, this is pretty much the officials. So these are allowable, like workers' comp, $600. That first one is planning meeting, regular meeting. I think it was district, agency, and then special. I think that's how they set it up. These numbers, I believe these numbers were just carried over the way they were. I don't think we moved them around or anything. They just stayed in the same spot. They just moved over to this year. And then financial assistance to another one, Fund 13. Fund 13 and Fund 14, those are financial assistance. So, you guys do full-time and part-time?
5 for full-time, $250 for part-time.
Okay, so they have it like $500 for full-time students, $250 for part-time. So those numbers just got carried over. On our end, we just make sure that these don't go into the negative. So there is money there for scholarship and for students who are applying, but just make sure that you stay in contact with the chapter too as well, figuring out the dates, because there's usually an open and close date, because they held fall semesters, spring semester. I don't know, maybe they might help summer semesters too, students. So it all depends on how much money is left. And then for Fund 15, that one is also for projects, big projects that they want here. So this is kind of like what they came up with right now. Is they want someone like a trash attendant, someone to wash the trash maybe. That one is probably, I think it's part-time. And then the custodian maintenance person too, also part-time. Then they even budget for a heavy equipment operator. So those hours are limited just because of the budget, just because of how much money they have. So those hours are just limited. They're probably going to be part-time people here. Even an office aide too, part-time. So that's kind of like what we kind of calculated. And on this side right here is the totals. And then what was left is, like I was saying with that side, every time I changed the numbers, you know, it kept going into the negative, so we kind of figured out, okay, it's gonna stop right there. So the rest of that will go to SUDA, which is state unemployment tax. I usually tell chapters to just go ahead and put it in there because at the beginning of January, the SUDA percentage always changes every year. And right now, this chapter's SUDA is at 6 right here it says 6.09%. That's what it is in the system and also on their online account. Because that's how they make their payments is through online to the state. So we always have to keep up with that because otherwise they'll put a lien on the chapter and we don't want that. That's just something. They can, you know, they put a lien on there, they can freeze the accounts and then, you know, you just end up paying more penalties to get out. But we've been staying on top of that. We've been staying on top of all the IRS payments, all the SUDA payments, workers' comp. So I've been making sure that we can stay on top of that. So that's how we budget the PEP personnel. Let's see. Oh, and then there is veterans. So this has been there for a while. It's just been being carried over. So we just kind of just left it in the same spot. So I guess if the chapter decides they want to do something for the veterans, dinner or something, then they can go ahead and spend that money and purchase food for that. So that was just basically what that was. And then this Fund 17, emergency. So based on what the chapter wants to do, you know, they have some personnel, some salary, some FICA, Medicare, SUDA, workers' comp. They want like, you know, some helpers just in case an emergency is declared by the president or so. And then also help out the community with purchasing grain, food, hay, you know, natural gas, propane, and any kind of repairs that need to be made like during a declared emergency too. It could be on the equipment. If they're using something, equipment goes out, needs to get repairs done on it, so that's what usually that line item is for. Then there's Fund 23. Right now they put some money in lodging, just in case they have to travel. You know, sometimes that's for overnight travel. Like they can go to a conference or something that's a week long, then they can use some of that money to pay for their lodging, for their hotel expense. Then of course you can use it for diesel fuel, repair and maintenance on construction equipment, you know, on the vehicles that they have. And then they can also, that last one where it says equipment, the chapter can purchase equipment if they need it, something that they may need, so that they kind of just put those monies there. And then, let's see, Fund 25, Fund 27, those are infrastructure. So usually these two, they'll work with CCMD, Capital Outlay Department, but these are small amounts, so I don't think this is part of a large project that's out there right now. So they want to use it towards upkeep of some buildings or even a chapter, maybe even renovate or fix something. I believe I heard them say that they want to do something about some pipes, some plumbing stuff. So that's what they can use that for. So that's why they have those money there. Then Fund 34, that one's the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, this one. As you can see, they mainly depleted most of it. So you probably just get like one bale of hay with that, $12. But other than that, though, that's kind of like where the carryover amounts are. Then there's 140. 140 is unhealthy, and then fun. They can use this for promoting healthy community. Like they can use it towards like just movement, or if they want to do they can even do it for veterinary supplies too. Like if some community members need some help with maybe getting their livestock, their vitamins or supplies or veterinary supplies, their shots or stuff. But there's a small amount there, so and also for food too, like if they want to do bring in someone to present some kind of preparation of healthy food, traditional food. I believe they can do that. You can even butcher a sheep too. That's another thing too, where you can have an instructor come in, butcher a sheep, educate the community. But it's all up to the chapter how they want to use it. And then other supplies that maybe that will support some of those things that are part of that. And that last one is what was it called? Yeah, Galileo Fund. So there's only $150, and I guess that one was for financial assistance. So I told them that they can use this fund with the other fund to kind of like combine it to maybe even, could be part of like a $500 assistant to a full-time student or a part-time student. So, and that's the total carryover amount right there. So that's how much they have, and that's how the closeout works at the end of the year. This is just funds that have been left over in each fund, and then they just rebudget the whole thing. So that's how the carryover works. Is there any questions? Any questions on the carryover?
I understand that the carryover, they might take it back.
No, it stays at the chapter.
Johnny, we were told that if the carryover is not spent, you want to take it back, but let them have it, let them keep it if you don't need.
Yeah.
So that carryover, I guess it needs to be spent within the budget period, so that we never know, the next time, they might just take it back if we have a large sum of that carryover.
Yeah, since I've been here, since I've been working with the nation, I have not seen them take money back. I haven't seen them do that to all the chapters. I've been with the tribe for 8 years, so I haven't seen it happen. I haven't really heard them talk about that. They would take the money back. As far as I know, when it comes to the chapter, it stays here. And there's other chapters that have way bigger carryovers than that, and they don't take it back. There's some chapters that have like over $1 million in carryover money. So, yeah.
So, another question is, Eric got carried over, how the people plans it, that's how we're gonna use it.
Yeah. It just, the way the officials and, DJ and I, the way we tailor the funds, is from their knowledge of how the community is moving forward and how they want to spend the money. So that's how we set it up. They're passing their knowledge on to me, and I'm just setting it up like this, and that's where everything is coming from them. I'm just making sure the numbers are adding up correctly, the codes are correctly, because, you know, this will all go into the system back there once it's approved. And if we don't get this approved too, no money's gonna be spent too, that's another thing. Because the budget has to get approved before a chapter can start spending money. So it would be good, the next meeting, we try to get it, you know, approved. Otherwise, like, these guys are waiting for their stipends, or even when you guys have meetings too, you're gonna be waiting for your stipends until the budget gets approved. So that's what it says in the budget instruction manual, and even in FMS, that if the budget isn't approved, then the chapter cannot spend any money. Yeah.
Can you go back up to Fund 15?
What, 15?
Yeah. PEP. Okay, Fund 15, that 47,840,
Yeah.
that all has to do with a trash collector, a custodian, an office aide, and a heavy equipment operator. And the new budget that we have, 24, only thing one is that is a trash collector.
Okay.
You know, we're gonna get that home renovation approved. It's in the system. I talked to the lady that's helping us out. We don't have PEP workers to do the renovation. I would suggest we just totally just save that money to hire the people that will do the home renovation. Otherwise, we don't have any workers. We get our money. We're not gonna have any money to hire laborers. That's my suggestion.
Is the VP here? No, huh? I would say if you, chapter president, and the staff and the VP all come to an agreement.
Art, the Fund 15, you get custodian, no office aide, no heavy equipment, no trash collector. Yeah, I don't think, she not, but that home renovation, 26 homes, and now one of them got the mission. Yen do the shake face, mark them do, every natural dog.
With the ARPA, that part is gonna be taken care of, right? That's
It doesn't have salaries.
I think, isn't they're hiring companies or hiring, you have to provide the laborers? Oh, okay.
I'll be not sure. I'll be trustee, you can do that.
Well, if the VP's here, and then we can, you know, all come to an agreement, then we can recalculate, but I don't see.
I don't know where,
Yeah.
I don't know where the VP is. Is
You probably went to go get something to eat, since you're all already eating.
So,
that's what I would suggest. I really think we need to be very cautious about it. Because people need electrical work, people need doors and flooring and roofing.
yeah, I understand.
Auto veterans, do we have veterans here, any veterans?
Yeah, Kurt.
Kurt, and they cut $551.86. They specifically asked to have us give them $1,000 more.
That will probably have to come from your revenue.
That will probably have to come from Fund 1. So, they was, and we others, even though they're getting their 5,000, they want to get some, shirts or jackets or something is what they wanted for.
Yeah, I think with the 5,000, they split it to 2,500 for food, in case you guys want to do an event or something for them. And then the other one is gift and rewards.
Yeah.
Gift and rewards, you can do plaques, you can do jackets, you know, gifts. So that can go to that.
Okay, so we don't have a letter here, so
Um,
that's what Mr. Martinez requested.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, but, if we're gonna readjust this budget, then I'm gonna have to come back. They kind of just want to go through with this because I'm supposed to do the same thing with Pebble. And, oh, you got a question?
Being a word of this chapter, I agree with what's being said, so then our people bring in the money. And then they in the house, a lot of people will need their houses repaired. Of course, if we put all the money into the chapter administration, nothing's gonna get fixed. Of course, we need those people in jobs. The only job there is out in the city state of Ohio. So, anyway, DP, PG announced we got for carpenters, electricians, and all that problems. So that way more people get help for them instead of going. That's what I would recommend for under the DEP part. I go from 10 subsidy to we made a big progress, I think, on our own. To me, I think we're about 95%. We're almost done with our project. So, I think we're trying to get 4 subsidy members paid. Shelly is, she covers Sandsman. I over the meantime, in Marcus. It seems like Jay Massey call, we get a lot of obstacles. We want stores here for our chapter, store that needs no wellness center, post office, all that. I need some people don't want to help us. But only because in the Amish, only because we have to see that every meeting, the nasty project. So I thank you for putting money in for the top city. So we made big progress this year. Though we need not supply, so we're going to use our own supplies so far. Though I don't get this thing for a thing of top city. I don't. One area first, leaders are not free, but no. But here in the U.S. Constitution, so it has the supreme law of the land. People can assemble anywhere they want a car. For the network that you know, the Baha's on. This is the U.S. Constitution. I will, I'll just make it short. Emergency, February, that's a secret. Community members got for that. And the community voted to prioritize the elderly. You can ask about the elderly. I don't call over the government. So we need to really look at that. This priority is on the National Priority. They need help. Us talking about stuff, a lot of elders are living by themselves, nobody to help them. I shift up on CK, so you have to take another piece of so I know they need wood, cold issues, and they don't have issues and so on, but so technically the work though, actually not the problem issues, so it's just go forward. What's that you heard? Yeah, you're welcome.
The other thing that she did cover was the winterization of the a lot of these homes, they needed immediately. Some of them, their walls they need fixing.
Yeah.
So we need to plan and, have those weatherizations. And I used to be stuff on junk because, a lot of them, they don't come to the meetings that we have on contact. And they're the ones that help. She don't call, check with the phone, and they check every day, they tend, a charge of 5 meetings in the
Yeah.
So, Ada, today we go winterization, up on some piece, we have to. Because we know it, I know it, because I had my home visits. On Seattle, I actually went into their homes, and some of these homes, being the Dodger father from called, they're on fixed income. The way these food costs are, they lots of guys. I treated like God and nice, and then should check out for the Venaho scene, that's the comments, we get from those people. So even weatherization here, it's something that needs to be done, they need it.
Okay. That part, they can probably go ahead and use that, housing discretionary too as well.
We need to put more money in that discussion.
We can go back and reconfigure these too to maybe even move some more of that archaeology down into here to help with that weatherization too. We can probably do that.
You know what would really be easier, because you have to do an application, you have to have home site lease, you have to have all the credentials before you even get that, housing exclusionary assistance. If we can just get a lump sum of money and allocate it and say, we're gonna use this for weatherization for families, and then hire personnel, it would be the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, we're just,
Yeah.
we're waiting for art clerks, home site lease, we have a lot, we put a proposal in for art clerks, it didn't make it to the opera for some reason, I don't know what it was.
Okay. Yeah, and then another thing too is the in-house policy procedure for housing discretionary too. We might have to amend that.
Yes.
We're probably gonna have to try to amend that. And also with the emergency part with Mr. Chi's, with his suggestion too, you guys need to work on that emergency response plan so that we can, so you can design it on like helping more elderly people. That emergency response plan needs to be, that needs to be completed too. And I believe the chapter hasn't worked on it yet, or is it still in progress? But there's also a template. DOJ has an emergency response plan template too that you can download, and I think it's like fill in the blanks maybe, or kind of edit here and there on your own.
We'll look for it.
You got a question?
Speaking about elders, all you the Woodstock, hallelujah,
Yeah.
what they should be doing is getting ready for the elders. Changing moments, we have a pellet stove. Also in the children, other pellets that they need. That's a lot of money that's left over.
Yes.
PEP, that's a money that the minute
Yep.
Bowling County to go earlier. That's what everyone needs to think about, to keep warm. So first priority, for elders in Nika. So they need to get ready for that.
Okay.
We might some of these things down.
Yeah. We'll have Secretary Treasurer take some of these comments, and then we'll reschedule a budget session. Okay. Like sometime next week before you guys will be presenting on the 3rd, November 3rd. Yeah. So we're gonna reschedule, and we'll take all these comments into consideration too as well. All
And then,
right now?
Yeah.
Đi có chứ khai cái xe, what's that?
I think that's ARPA, ARPA
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll explain that.
Yeah.
We'll explain that more.
So what we're saying right here is that a lot of the needs are out there with the people, yeah. Should they pick a peso, another peso? The needs here in the chapter house should be less. And the way I see it, you know, there's more needs listed here in the chapter house. We hardly use the chapter house. Ako, London, never, that way, you know, people don't, if we can do something for them, you know, you know, but on John, when we're doing the budget, demanding,
I understand the need that's out there, but it's just the way the policy and the BIM and everything that, you know, Winter Rock has given us, instructed us on how these budgets need to be set up. It's, you know, it's almost like our hands are kind of just tied and all we can use is what we have and try to reach people who really need it. So that's where, you know, the chapter comes in. They know people who need help. And, you know, it's just coming in and filling out some of these applications to see if they qualify for it and stuff like that. I know that part. I wish it was really easy where, you know, to just give them a check and say, or maybe send people over there and you do it right away. But the first things first is we have to make sure this budget is good to go so that we can get it approved. That's the first thing that we need to make sure happens.
Thank you so much, Judge Murtis, for showing this to us. I didn't include now. The one you can read the correct. He recorded it on the that they come down. Now, I had a question. We had a budget meeting here. We asked a question about Rico Marcus. The community house. I remember electricity, propane, water utilities, because it's not in the inventory, but this was done on a handshake long time ago. We should respect that. President, partnership agreement that he didn't need. So by the next time we meet, we will have a partnership agreement with the community house at Rico Marcus. But I really would like to see us continue to pay for their propane model, their electricity. I would like for you to, I want to write it in here too, so we make sure we do that.
Yeah, I believe this whole time that, you know, they've been taking care of the utilities over there, and I didn't know about it. But we do have to have at least some kind of documents in place for that. So yeah, I am trying to work on that part myself. I do respect that, you know, like a long time ago, everybody used to come to agreement and, you know, they stuck to their word. I'm trying to assist the chapter with that. So I believe it's already within the utility accounts, that building, it shows up on the utility, that's what he was telling me, teacher. So it's already been paid for, and when I did my analysis on how much we've been paying for it, you know, how much we've been spending on utilities. And, it was already factored in there, so we kind of just, just from based on how much we spent all year last year, that's kind of like how we set up the utilities. So it's going to continue. Yeah, we do want to get the paperwork in place, so we're trying to work on that. I believe they gave you instructions on what to do now. In the meantime, are you working on it? Okay.
So I would like to make a comment about the whole recon thing. So Ms. George, you did give me a call, when was it, 3 weeks ago? When I was making the changes to the ARPA applications after you told me. And you called me, and you asked me if I was doing the changes. And then you specifically told me not to submit the community house and not to do the community cemetery. Let's be honest about it. You told me, now you're saying something different.
Oh my God.
No, yes, you did.
Something else.
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
Hudson.
Anyway, the other thing too, we have conversation, we had discussion over CAPSIA, the only MOA that I hear about is from Senior Center, MOA. Okay, if we're gonna sign MOA, we can offer a CAPSIA. Are you gonna do that to all of these chapters within the Ishinabo agency? Upon Nemo, the Ishinabo agency, he Castile, upon Nemo, but the way it is right now, and the MOA from CLOPSI, and the MOA from Rincon Marcus, that's another story.
So we're not really enforcing it. We're just trying to, we're trying to get to that point where documents are in place. So I ain't trying to work with you guys. I'm not trying to say no. I'm not trying to say that.
And the other thing too is we're just a subcommittee. It's under the chapter. We're a subcommittee. We're not going to be there forever. We don't know. It might phase out. A couple more months. So we're just subcommittee under the chapter. And the chapter is responsible for the subcommittees. Without the beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am trying to help you guys. I am trying to work with you guys.
Okay.
So I usually don't take no. I don't really like to say no. I try to find different avenues, or even ask other departments, or even ask other ASCs how they do it as far as these MOAs and chapters all over the place. It's case by case basis too. Everything's different with them. Some of them they don't really have to deal with none of that. So they don't really have to deal with none of that. Maybe the preschool or the senior center is actually have allocated money. So, but yeah, some chapters they do help, senior centers or even the preschool. So I just want to make sure that those are in place too. But, because this chapter is sanctioned, we just don't want that to become a huge red flag. So it looks like we'll go ahead and probably meet this week, because this week my schedule is full. Probably come together and look at the budget again. The notes that you're taking down, we'll try to implement those kind of things.
Murtis, I just have one question. What about road improvements or road funding for like surveyors or?
Well, it's kind of hard with that kind of stuff, because capital outlay funds down here, Fund 25 and Fund 27 is just very small amount. Fund 25 only has 9,000, and then Fund 27 only has 1,000. And then if it's a big project like that, usually they work with CPMD too.
Okay.
Usually they help these chapters set it up. They set it up online. I believe it's called ICIP.
Right.
So they go on there, they set up all this, and then these guys are supposed to be running resolutions for those projects too. I believe in July, that's when it starts up.
Okay.
It usually starts in July, but and then the chapter hasn't these last couple of fiscal years. The chapter has not been receiving any capital outlay funds at all.
When earlier, she was here, and I questioned her on that amount, she said that is zeroed out. So, I don't know, I'm maybe looking into that.
Well,
I
you
don't
know what, I'm not sure too, because
Yeah.
when I came on board, Ms. Burnside was here, and then they had a AMS too, her name was Cordelia, something like that. So they were on board, they were maintaining this, and I would only come over here if she needed help, but I never really looked into, the money, where the money's been coming from.
I think it's something that we need to look into, Art, that, Fund 25, you need, because, I was not what I heard, and they that's zero out, but I don't know about that 27.
But the thing is too, like, the years that I have been here, I usually check to make sure that they're not moving money from fund to fund. And I didn't see that with this chapter. So I don't know how much they started out with. And, so I just making sure that they've been putting, just these are allowables. These are what allowables are here. So I just make sure that these are accurate in each of the funds. Then of course, the calculations too, usually check those. So that's what the carryover budget.
On the diesel bill too, 1,875, and we don't even have that diesel operating there. Diesel operator, no diesel fuel, nothing. You have never used that machine, that equipment, and what, you put on the system. Is you not paid, but then now put up on that, so then now on it, carry over and send it back. Maybe we could use that one somewhere else where it's needed. Because, insurance, I know that those should not be out there.
Well, the insurance, I believe he already turned it in. He got an invoice. So we just need to pass his budget so we can pay for the insurance. That's another thing too. He has an invoice, he showed it to me.
Oh, I don't know, say it should have been on the shoulder.
So that's why these guys, they decided to budget a heavy equipment operator so that they can start utilizing it. And that we can also use that to bring in revenue too, as far as renting it. But a policy just has to be in place for that type of stuff too as well. You have a question?
I have a question on that, discretionary funding. I visited our discretionary funding is roads. So when you carry over a car, out there, not about this. Then at 600 at the pin house, a cotton street over windows that go out in quotation. No, we don't need quotation. We need to go only to one place where we can buy heating needs in need or compare price. No. At the next of us, it's more than that. I don't put it out about every day that there is keep on keeping. It's a 3 things in 600. Over 600, that's it. It's $1,000 on it. This year is Kaloko. At the end here we need more. 1,000 over than conduct. They'll check with that. Just say it out of the young, that's so basic. Over on there. She put on, she out of one, but not that one. Skiing her up and another organization. It's going to take days, it will be on them hospital. At then, though the nation at then, how does she emergency that is this street then no better husband. It also no we did all just on the at then. But the nation. It they put yeah, she could have had a Tatulio tadi nana. Attendance. I want to make a change. No. Attendance. No changes. I don't want to I don't try to go. It's not being used. Kita obat itu.
In order to make a policy change, that's where these guys would come together. They would start to cross out what they want to read, you know, maybe the amount they want to change, or the wording they want to change. That's what they would do. They would come together. And then they would present it to the community too, to show the changes. And then that part would get approved. Resolution will get tied to that new policy, and then from that point on, they start using that policy. So that's one thing you probably need to also take in consideration is going back and looking at those policies too, the in-house policies.
I think what needs to be done is on chapter officials, the coordinator, we're not effective. But if we have people from the community and the Ha'agwin and bring it together as a subcommittee, I'm sure they would be very willing to help. They didn't know housing discretionary. She has an idea, she has a plan. And we put it in a resolution form 2 times that it was approved, but since you're the ASC director, I don't know that you coordinator, and I want you to hear this, I am with the executive, you are the legislative. You don't tell me what to do, I don't tell you, don't tell me what to do. It's in the minutes of the meeting. If we don't work that way, we're not going to get anywhere. But I would like for your permission right now, people that are interested in wanting to work on the scholarship policy, the housing discretionary policies for the truck policies on housing emergencies, paid distribution, whatever. But they got it now. It's just that the door has not been opened for us. We want to do it. For an example, the scholarship, the same people over 6 years have been getting the same scholarship every year. The same students in the discretionary funds in the discretionary funds, if I recall, says it's building material, it's not foundation. But we have done some foundations. I think we need to fix that.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need to get together, look at it, see what loopholes or some things that you guys identify you want to change, and that's, I mean, you guys have the power to do that. Me, I mean, I'm just here to guide you. And at the same time, we can't have this back and forth thing too as well, yeah. So just, you know, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything anymore. You know, don't say anything about what he's doing. I tell him too, just, you know, just do your job over here. But I'm trying to work on you guys communicating a lot better though. I am. And I don't, you know, the personal attacks, we just have to kind of just throw it behind us and just kind of focus on the community at hand and making sure that these policies are, you know, are what the community wants, like taking her advice and her suggestion about maybe even upping the money too as well on the assistant part. So that's what I like to see happen. I don't want to see no more personal attacks. Let's focus on let's you know, put all our energy and focus into making sure that the policies are where we want them to be. So So,
Meredith,
yes.
so how is that initiated? Who initiates the revision of the policy?
Well, in this case, I feel like I need to come back, set up a meeting, we all come together, we put the whole policy and procedure on here as a Word document. Then we just start reading each line, going through it, crossing out what we want to change, and then editing it, stuff like that. That's how you usually amend. You show the edits, what you're taking out. You show what you're going to put in there. And then after that, you save the edits, and then you make a finalized draft copy that you want to present to the community for them to approve. And then from that forward on, they use that, they follow that.
So it's the responsibility of the administration to teach these people out here what the policies are and how to initiate those changes.
Maybe next, I'm sorry.
Since we're still on the budget, I'm the president of the local senior council. So just heads up, we need 2 or 3 cooks position up there too. Our supervisor has been AWOL for going 4 months. Of course, Sabrina, we outside, she's trying to do all 3 positions. So if you guys can just help us with some PP to prepare improvements, right? So,
Well, what we have, we'll see what we can do.
okay.
Won't promise you like someone's gonna be up there for 8 hours a day, but we'll maybe a couple of hours. We can probably try to implement that, but we'll try to. It's good. I appreciate that. Oh, you have something to?
Mr. Begay, we did that last week. I participated in a group, in a work session like that last week. It was Wednesday and Thursday of last week. One of the chapters pulled out their policy and procedures, scholarship, PDP, anything that they have a policy on from the chapter. They brought that in. We went to that Hispanic place in Albuquerque, and they had the chapter official, the coordinator, and TLUPSI, people who are members of the TLUPSI, Asian. And we came in, and they had an agenda, pretty much chapter agenda. They had an agenda. The last one was FMIS A.K. But they had the policy pertaining to everything that the chapter works with. And that's what we did, we started reading. We all took turns. When we were working with the scholarship and policy, we took turns reading it. As we read those, and then we stopped. Any change, scholarship on the Shina Big Up, and they and what they were changing was they hadn't really worked on their policy for probably a good almost 10 years. So they did the year that they started with we were reading each section. And as we went to each section, whatever wording, whatever needed to be changed, they crossed it out. The last one that we were given as our homework was heavy equipment, because they have a grader. And read it, and then we'll come back again. One day setting out on the rest of the policy and procedures were pretty much up to date, and they were going to get it typed up again. Once it's typed up again, we'll review it again and see if all the changes got put in there. And then, it's on the chapter, and we'll read it to the chapter. We have one homework, and then review, and then presentation to the chapter, full presentation. You cannot go which is DOJ about the detail. Tina Vega is on what they did, what and whether we didn't like someone that was in the group, we were a part of it. Or your teamwork. So there are chapters who are part of the chapters that are part of delegate told, but they have started doing that because they do recognize that 2023 everything has changed going on. So I'm just letting you know that when you're changing your policy, you should have people take turns reading it. And and when we were there, we didn't even take lunch. They just call it in, and if you don't have lunch, we have one person that went out to get the lunch, brought it back, and continued on. And it went from 9 o'clock until probably about 4:30. She Ajay. And so that place, Hispanic culture, push the short sit down because and they let you use the room for free. And you just tell them how many people are coming, and based on that, they assign the size of the conference room, and they even help out with refreshments. It was a good place because it took us out of the chapter. You have people coming in. So it cuts that process of thinking together. So we got away, and that's where it was held. But like I said, included the 3 officials, the coordinator, and the club seat. So, but I do also have to say this. As chapter official, as coordinator, as club seat, when we participate in any one of those groups, we don't say, you can't choose the people that are leading the pack. You can't say coordinator, you can't say, you have to learn to work together, whether we like each other or not. So, all you have to do is put you have to move some of these around to say, so how much your carryover is still going to be the same. You just move some of the stuff around only. I call even not in the you have to approve your budget before anybody can request for help. September most likely October based on they have to request again in the new budget. So did the policy change. I participated in that. It was a good session, it was a good learning process. So that needs to be done here. خاص للبغاء سألني بيدو حتى شي بيز أني حتى هم I think the sheet on there, who knows, maybe 1950, yeah, that's in the house. Maybe it got put in place in 1960, كلها حتى شي بيز أني. You need to bring it out, dust it out, and redo it to make it where it fits you, because hit out, it doesn't couple of things, yeah. And then, yeah, about this thing, so it was a real good session that I participated in. It was good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Meredith, I have a comment to do. Niki de kwani kaji say no in chicheda ki numbers over da khania. We know that the needs, we have needs in the community. I know the needs are out there. I know my people. The need are struggled with cash. So, delete out that they run that based on budget gap. But in the long run, last time the decision that took this table, not so, I don't able to talk about delete out the resolution, let us know that, they don't have that either. That's another issue right here. Collect out the guns in the way Chicago was done so on that they became there. Like for instance, there's not journal in that trend that they can lie. 8 hours is cheated. Because carryover, you carry over. But they don't get all that. You know that you don't, basic coffee beans, and much time, inside. 10 days EP, not so down. But needs you should that check with the snow the heading of that's it. I don't have that. So when we now the base of the Lana day is very critical, it's very crucial. Deep at Kodo in that in now has covered. Oh, in our base of base, then we learn that in the banking and the structure. So I think that's very true too. In job banking now, the Shria take it. A ship in second the night the dog. Then guide the dog keep out I see what it all entails in the budget. So that's where we're at right now. She would Clubsy, no, the organization hallelujah. Her professional fee is not that they need Cato. They is treated professional. We have no consultant. Okay, let's do it ourselves. Let's put all these plans together. The ship plan and how higher they does, but that vendor can double check the work for us. That's where we're at right now. Even in LGA, are you sure our budget is in there? Some say they indicate that resolution is beyond that. Make sure it's in there. So issue those indicate that resolution, but it's still there. So professional fee.
You have 4 members, right?
No.
Yeah. Right here, this is where we calculated you guys. So there's 4 members. You guys get 120 each for 12 months. So that's where this comes in. Your FICA, your Medicare, workers' comp. So that's all. That's what's in the carryover budget right now. Other professional fees, we did put some in there, but if these guys want to put more in there, then we would just have to take money from somewhere else right here. So we do have other professional fees. If you guys want to put more in there, you could probably just use this as a savings account. Like just keep saving this, or you can probably get a planner, maybe who will just come in and just review your work. I don't know how much they charge. I'm sure maybe they might take a day or two to look at everything that you guys have. maybe that might cover their little, you know, for them to do that. Or maybe if we need more, then either like we can take it from computers, or maybe there's gonna be money left over after we pay this bill too, the insurance. Whatever's left, we can just go ahead and move it in there at like another chapter meeting. We call it a budget transfer. Or, you know, maybe we don't need as much in here, just dues and subscriptions. Usually this is maintenance stuff for the accounting system in there. They usually send a bill for, you know, updates that the accounting software needs, or any kind of maintenance that it needs, so usually they pay out of that. But these, I believe these are important, so I don't think we're gonna move money out of that. And then of course, these are important too, because these are Club C stuff, and the stipend, Club C. So.
Murder?
Oh, I was gonna, after once an agreement is made, can you do this again and go over where
The
money was
changes?
moved around and stuff like that? Can you do that with us again
Yeah.
after?
I'm thinking next Tuesday, Halloween. We'll have a costume contest. Oh, yeah, good.
So, I'm just speaking as a voting member,
Yeah.
so, and then just kind of having knowledge in how this is established, the carryover and how things are moved around. Who did the budget? Who did this budget? Because then it seems like the officials are opposing to some of that. Shouldn't they have all worked together to establish this budget so we wouldn't have this right now?
Yeah.
Except for presenting to the community member and having it approved.
We actually came together last week. Secretary Treasurer was here, President, and even staff, even Dietrich. It was just us five. We kind of just put this together, you know. From my, you know, knowledge of how these right here, like I was saying, these allowables. You know, I was telling them, okay, this is, you know, these are only things that are allowed. And I'm like, okay, you guys can decide how much you want to put in each of those. So I let them do all that. You know, I just kind of just designed this whole thing in Excel for them. So, and then I just make sure the calculations are correct.
My name is Kirk Sandoval. Let's see, about a month and a half ago, I was elected to be the vice president because there was a vacant spot. So I kind of walked in at the same thing, wondering what this was all about. So my thought was that since it's been going on all year, and then we had X amount of carryover, I thought, all right, this is probably planned out. And there's a lot of money and opportunity right now to help the community, is my thought. So I just figured, okay, we have a bunch of resolutions that have been passed, so if there are projects that have already been passed in resolution and voted on by the community, that's what I thought we would compare the money with. So we would say, we have this project, now we have X amount of dollars that we could put to this project. And like even what Lorraine Nolan said, oh, we've done a lot of assessments. Like those assessments should have been a part of this project, I would think.
Right.
And I didn't know any of it. And that's like my aunt. It's her and her husband. They're both elderly. I've seen their home. It needs a lot of repair. To include that is her daughter sitting next to her with young children. That should be a priority. And I'm sure that's not the only one. And now we're talking about land laws, all right? And who needs 1 acre? And how can we assist them? That's what I thought was the Club C. That's their responsibility, to help people say, this is the process for land withdrawal, to get your 1 acre. And then we would help them with the funding, say, all right, we have 10 people, we have X amount of dollars, we'll go ahead and put money toward your home site lease to get it approved, you know, so that you don't have to worry about the funding portion. None of that was brought up. So that's what I'm saying, like, that's why when they voted on it last time, before it was tabled, I didn't vote yes or no, because my thinking wasn't the way it should have been done. This was a good opportunity. We had a lot of carryover, and the Secretary Treasurer was assigned in conjunction with the coordinator to present this to the public. According to the president, he got a phone call and said, oh, well, I'm not able to go. And there was no agenda for the meeting, and no meeting minutes from the last time that should have been posted. So that's where I was like, okay, well,
All right, that's.
so
okay.
the coordinator,
On my toes.
the
No,
coordinator
give
and the
him the opportunity
president,
to talk.
Let him talk.
the coordinator,
Okay, so, you don't need to go
the
there.
coord,
Let him talk.
That's it.
the coordinator.
Question yet?
So that's how I thought it was. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just recounting the events.
He's just explaining to you.
See, this is why I don't want to be in here, because he came from Wonder Rock to just tell you about what happened. It was supposed to be between the Secretary Treasurer, the President, and myself to figure this out with the coordinator. That's what I thought.
That's right.
Everybody should have the same respect for everybody.
The way the budget is not needed, the way it's planned out, the way it's written in LGA, and the official coordinator, Murdis, they're the one that picked these numbers. And then we present these numbers to you people, the members. Is this too much, or shall we take some out and put it in here? That is your idea, Secretary, VP, you make the changes. So we don't talk.
Yes.
Because we're here. The insurance. If it's too much in here, you can take some of it out and put it into office supply that don't need them. That can be done. So Costa Zero is going to redo the budget again. If there's any changes that needs to be done, then they'll make the changes on Tuesday. Because make it to your satisfaction. Now you want to make some changes. We'll do it your way. Next Friday, we'll have a regular chapter meeting on the 3rd. So we'll present before you guys again to make a vote on it. Today, then there's no quorum gate, then so we can't vote on it. So the meeting for today will be canceled until next Tuesday, next Wednesday, planning meeting. We'll do the regular meeting on the 3rd. 8 out of this. 8 out. You have nothing in the budget. So today, we did work on it last week, but we presented it this way to you. So right now, if you want to make the changes, now is the opportunity to say so. We'll leave it like that. Point fingers and don't say it no more. Then get the chapter meeting. Just for a year now. So I want that need of this. It's not that which is the drink it is. Because they is doing it. It's not what the hell. That's enough. No more. I'm tired of it.
Yes.
It's making me sleepless sometimes at night. Let's work together and then get this thing. This is not a meeting, this is only discussion. It's just discussion. We're just pointing out that this is how we did it. If you want to be on the budget meeting, you'll be here on Tuesday. What time?
We start at 9.
9 o'clock. You can then we can go through the whole thing again. To your satisfaction. The official then they tell me will step back and we won't say anything, and he'll be up to you guys. What it'll do.
I think my recommendation would be to, have an orientation for Kurt. Since he says about 2 months on the job, I think he needs to have an orientation on the whole chapter operation. And as far
Everybody
as
needs
policy.
it. We'll all go to orientation, all of us.
Oh,
I'll try to get that, I'm
There's orientation for chapter
That's enough. Let's content, I'll see whether that's it or more. I don't point fingers, I
Yes.
don't point fingers. Let's just stop that now. So finish your, your fundamental,
We'll go. So, since we looked at the carryover side, there's also the annual budget. The annual budget that comes to the chapter every year too also. So there's also that's coming to the chapter. So there's like 2 budgets that will be passed.
And one more thing, they have funeral expense, right?
Yeah.
Community, I think I do have a job. You have something to say? This great idea, funeral expense, long community people can't now watch it on so.
yeah, like Murda said, but policy change now, we can move that up a little.
It'll keep that in mind.
I think we're gonna do the policy review in December. Usually in December, we do a policy review. I don't know, January, okay, just on this.
And that means I'm running your suggestion to increase the
Funeral expense.
Okay, so this one's the FY 24 annual budget that the chapters will be receiving. And like I was saying earlier too, I just come over here, just help them put this together. Right here, this $93,843. They have the annual budget, they call it the general fund, and then the general fund is broken up into personnel, stipends, and then the non-admin costs. The non-admin cost is direct services to the community. So these monies, either it's for scholarship, or either it's for PEP, or even to help with LGA, to get certified. So this amount was given to the chapter, but we had to take 10% away, which is $9,384. And now they're only working with $84,000. So because of the sanction. So when we were going through this too as well, this is what this is what the officials and the staff came up with. So for summer youth, as you can see, there's no numbers in there because this is like Fund 8, Fund 13, Fund 17, 15, 9, and Fund 10. Those can be used towards that money. These are the only funds that can use that money. So because they had a lot of money on the carryover side, they decided that they didn't want to put any money there, but they wanted to put more money into scholarships for like full-time students and part-time students, a total of 12,000. So that's Fund 13 that they wanted to do. And then in Fund 17 for emergency, they put more money in there too. So as you can see that they put some money in there for some helpers. It could be like wood distribution or anything like that to help with help with the community. So they went ahead and put gasoline and diesel fuel so that we wanna get the equipment running, you know, we wanna get the truck insured, registered and stuff to help with this. Maybe to take those, maybe to use the truck to go pick up wood, or to go pick up grain or wood pellets. So they allocated money to that. As you can see, like for grain, they did 1,000, for wood, they put 4,000, and for propane, they put more money in there. Then for repairs too, to their equipment. So they put some money in there. So that's gonna be added on top of the carryover too as well. But this doesn't come until later. This is the thing I'm waiting for, is this budget to get approved and the resolution to come to me so I can submit all that whole packet that I have ready. I'm just waiting for the resolution. And then after that, it'll go through our office for review, then it goes to Office of Management Budget for review, and then it goes to Office of the Controller for review, and then when it gets approved over there, that's when they generate that check, and that check comes over here to the chapter, and it gets deposited. And once it gets deposited, then that's when we enter all this budget into the accounting system in there, and then you'll see a larger amount in some of these funds because more money was added. So there's that.
With that PV, a little bit more, what is it? 33,000?
And then, so they put more money in housing, into building materials, another 8,400. Then of course we have the PEP side, those projects. This we're probably gonna revisit because you guys were saying something about, you know, the housing stuff, the winterization, so we're probably gonna go back and look at that and maybe re-budget some of that too as well. So there's that, and then of course the LGA too. So Fund 10, as you can see, they budget for lodging, mileage, meals per diem, just in case some of the officials or the staff needs to go on travel in order to take care of the chapter business. That's what this is used for. This chapter business only, not business. So there's always a paper trail of what they do in order to get reimbursed for that if they go on travel. And then they put more money in office supplies, operating supplies, even some more subscriptions, even professional fees again. There's another 2,000 in professional fees. So that's like about 4,000 total, because on the other side, there's another 2,000. Then of course, some equipment, in case the chapter needs to purchase something that they need in order to, you know, move forward. And even more money in property too, because property is always up and down. Sometimes the percentages go way up, and these guys end up paying a higher amount. So we kind of just did that, but like I said, we can always revisit too and make budget transfers. But we just had to do it properly.
When is the last time you did a budget transfer?
Like say, well, if we figure out how much the property is and we pay for it, and like say we don't even touch this, and then after that we have to do that budget transfer form. You guys present that, you guys will say, oh, we're gonna move this money to this over here, you know, like we're moving it from here to somewhere else. You have to show that on the document, signatures on there. Once the resolution has been approved, and you show it to me, I go in the system and I make that change. So that's how budget transfers work. But sometimes it's not really good to do a whole lot because, you know, I just don't want you guys to get questioned a whole lot about why you keep moving money around. So it's only good to do at least a couple of times. It's only good. So even can go into veterans, but veterans is getting the money, getting 5,000. So then also there's special revenue. The special revenue is more money that goes to scholarships. And then more money, then this one too, lands claims. But this one is just utilities. So lands claim is just nothing but utilities. So So that's where me and Dietrich are always looking at utilities. We want to make sure the chapter is taken care of for the whole year. We don't want it to get shut off just because we didn't do water, or we didn't pay for water or electricity. Also, the chapter did receive additional fund utilities. They received another additional utility fund too, and then another additional scholarship. So there's more money going to scholarship again too. So that's part of the annual budget. Yeah. And then there's the chapter stipends too, which is included in the budget, in this annual budget. So it looks like they budget for planning, regular, and agency. And as you can see, there's 3 officials. That's how much their checks are going to be, and that's all the meetings that they will be attending. 12 planning, 12 regular, and then agency, they usually have 4. They usually have 4 throughout the year, but sometimes they do have special. But that's only if you have money, then you can pay it out. No, this is restricted. All of it's restricted. Wherever it's at, you can't. The only thing you can move somewhere else is revenue. Like whatever they're making here, you can budget that somewhere else. Everything else, you can't move. You can only move in between, but you can't move from here to a different fund. You can't do that. You can only move it in between. That's it. That's what that budget instruction manual says. That's why it says restricted fund in there. And then, of course, the veterans too, they split that in half. $2,500 to food, and $2,500 to gifts and rewards, so that you guys can do something for the veterans, you know, acknowledge them. So, yeah, it would be good to do something like that. But that's the annual budget. We can revisit some of these next week on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. But is there anything else? Because I'm late. Where I'm supposed to go? Is that it? Okay. I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you guys have a better understanding too as well. What's that?
Another was suggesting if it could be on Monday.
Monday, my schedule, yeah. I have Tuesday open, I know that.
Tuesday at 9.
And then when the new month begins, like the 1st, I have to run to other chapters and help them reconcile. So I'm busy like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so Tuesday I know I can do it. I have that day open right now. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Keep it next year. You're welcome.
Okay. We didn't have outside, but we didn't have a forum. So Tuesday, not on meetings, they come back on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And our plan meeting will be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Our regular chapter meeting will be on Friday on the 3rd at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, it's pretty good.